I'm Duke Shoulders. This is the Days of the Dead International Film Festival. You can see we brought out some really sexy mood lighting for you all. We're here with the boys behind The Blood Witch. I'm going to let them introduce themselves, tell you a little bit about the film, and then we'll start with some questions.
Cool. My name's Austin Torres. I'm the writer and director of The Blood Witch.
Hi, I'm Adam Michaels. I am the husband of Kaylee Michaels, who is the Blood Witch and her victim.
Yeah.
So they're nominated for Best Villain. We want to talk a little bit about the prosthetics and how the Blood Witch came to be. A really neat aesthetic. And if you can fit a little bit in, I really love the scene where the blood hits the wine in the wine glass.
Oh, yeah.
And you can see the reflections and all this. How did all this come about?
By luck, to be perfectly honest, we had a little bit of fake blood, like food dye, that we just dipped into the white wine, and then it was all practical, and it just happened to float the way it did. And our cinematographer, Jason, he goes, Austin, you need to look at the monitor right now. I'm like, oh no, did something go wrong? He's like, no, something went right. So we didn't control how it did it, it just did it like that. I like to think God liked us.
It was really, if you haven't seen what I'm talking about, there's a reflection of the actress in the wine glass on this backdrop of this blood just dissipating. It's really, really neat.
Yeah, I think I was in the bottom of a stairwell waiting for my part to come back up. And so you guys were all excited up there.
Yeah.
What's going on up there?
I want to see.
Yeah, so I heard the excitement, so I knew something could happen.
So who put together the design of Blood Witch, the aesthetic, how she looked?
So that was a collaboration between myself and our creature designer / makeup effects, just pure talent, Ashley Richardson, who I met just kind of in Michigan, and she is fantastic. I told her, hey, it needs to be a little bit of Insidious, a little bit of Darth Maul, just very vague ideas, and I said, and then play with it, and then she did.
It's a very neat aesthetic. It almost looks like frost. It reminded me of like frostbitten fingers.
Yeah.
In a lot of ways, and just really neat. The chemistry was obviously there between you guys.
Thanks.
And that was so fun to kind of listen to that banner and watch it, you know. And you knew the hook was coming because you could feel it building, you know.
Yeah.
But I didn't quite see it. So do you want to talk a little bit about the chemistry on it, just what it was like to film?
Yeah, I think, you know, I've been acting for quite a while in my life, and we both met each other, Kaylee and I, in 2019. And we've really been able to do a lot of cool productions together, which has been exciting. But we try to stay very conscious about being on set, and I think we do have a naturalism with each other, which is great, but I think it can be very easily to fall into reading a script. So we make good scene partners because I think we try to check in with each other and question the moment. Is this sounding like we don't know each other? Is this sounding like we're on a date? Does it sound like we're reading a script? So I think having history of it, but also I'm very thankful that we both are pretty aware, try to be very aware of if we're actually being in the moment or not.
It definitely showed to me, you know, there was definitely a charisma there, chemistry, but there was also kind of like we don't know each other very well, we're getting it, we're edging it out, you know.
Yeah, well, and working with Austin, it was nice because he was very good about, because you've been doing movies for a little bit now.
This is only my 4th short.
Yeah, so you're.
I'm just getting started, really.
He's just getting started, but I think there's such a naturalism and enthusiasm that Austin has when he is on set. And one of the things that I really thought was awesome and kind of rare was Austin very humble on set. And there might be some people at some points in shooting that they have an expertise or they're more familiar, they're more comfortable with something. And he's so good about not trying to just have control or have an ego. And he takes that and he's good about taking that and putting it into his tool belt. So it was really nice being on set and being able to do what we felt comfortable with and bring anything that we had to the table, and him soaking that up and then running with that too.
Does anybody in the audience have any questions? I don't want to bogart at all. Okay. I got one more question for you, I think, before we wrap up. As far as the story and the kind of the mythos, the legend of the Blood Witch, I thought that was really neat. You know, I felt like I could see a little bit of similarities between other things, but it was all its own. So how did it come about?
So we actually made this in a very quick turnaround. I was making a film called Spider, and we finished that in April of 2024. And the whole reason I wanted to make The Blood Witch was because I was about to turn 30 in October, and I'm like, I only have 3 short films. I had this little existential moment where I'm like, I'm not where I want to be. So I said, I'm going to make at least one more short film before I turn 30. And that was the challenge. So I wrote it in May. We shot it in July, and we put it on YouTube in October. So that's a very quick turnaround. Even though it's just a 9-minute short, that's still a pretty quick turnaround, especially because, as you guys saw, we have a lot of makeup, a lot of gore effects. There's a lot to be planned. As far as, to answer your question with the lore of it, I came up with that very quickly. I didn't really think about it. I was like, what would be really cool? And I was listening to a true crime podcast where there was a cult in Mexico. And I don't remember the name. I think it was Magdalena Solis.
That's right.
Yeah, it was her. And I was kind of learning about her, and that there's a lot of that in The Blood Witch.
That's where I heard it. it was all your own. Don't get me wrong. There's originality there, but I felt there was some traces of that. Yeah, some traces. Very cool. We're running out of time here. What I do want to do is there anything that you want to plug? Anywhere that people can get a hold of you to see more of your work? Go ahead and put it out there so they can keep tracking you down.
Yes, so you can find me on Instagram at Austin Torres, and I'm always posting about my films on there. I have a podcast called Would You Die, which is weekly. That's on Instagram as Would You Die Show. We have a YouTube channel called Would You Die, and I put The Blood Witch on there. I also have my other horror short films, Spider and Ice Cream. Those are on the Would You Die YouTube channel as well.
You can find me mostly on Instagram, social media for Adam's Art Box. Just type that in. You'll find a bunch of stuff. I have a new short film coming out with a production company that I'm a part of, and that'll be very exciting. And I just have one more thing to plug Austin, because just going back to his just humbleness and how cool it was to see something he said on set that I thought was really great, because Kaylee and I, when we showed up, we didn't know what to expect. We just liked Austin as a person. We liked his enthusiasm and excitement over horror movies. And I have a lot of admiration for anyone that just wants to make the thing and then they do the thing. And we showed up, and again, well, we didn't know what to expect. Was it going to be professional? Was this going to be this, this guy with a camera and his buddy? And it was not that. He had people he put together, and something he said at one point was, "Thank you all so much for chiming in with any expertise you have. You make me better." And I think that's so rare to have. And so if you're a filmmaker out there, do what Austin does, because none of us have figured this out, and we're all learning, and it just makes me want to work with Austin, and it makes me talk to other actors and filmmakers and go, well, the guy that I would recommend is this guy, because he's great to work with.
Some great insights. I'm Duke Shoulders. This is the International Days of the Dead Film Festival. Please hang around for the next block. We have more to come. Thank you.
Thank you.